Hi guys, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. So apologies in advance for the noise. Corey is upstairs doing some work and you might hear some things, but I'm hoping things are gonna go okay. But if you hear some like intense, I don't know what he's doing up there, using the screw gun, I don't know. There it is. But I wanted to come on and give some quick post-burn reviews and kind of start this a little bit on my channel. So I have been I'm always thinking about things, right? And I've just been doing some thinking, and I feel like a ton of, especially candles, I don't do a good job of like giving you guys my actual thoughts after I bring them into my collection. I kind of am really bad about just like bringing stuff in and setting it aside and like totally not reaching for it. So what I'm going to do is kind of try to get use a few things right away, even if I don't completely use them up right away, but then give you guys my thoughts on them. So I'm calling this post-burn reviews. I don't want this to get confused with like empties. These are just post-burns, as in they're not cold sniffs. I've burned them, so I can tell you how they are actually burning, but they're not truly empties. Those things I talk about in my actual empties videos. So I hope that makes sense. I know some people use this term differently. I'm just using it in the fact like I've burned them, so post-burn, like after the burn. Hope that makes sense. So I have two candles to share with you today. I have Pink Lavender and Espresso and Golden Honeycomb. I have a big list of candles that I have recently hauled and more on the way that I basically have just like a giant list I want to talk to you guys about. So I also have my notes. So sorry I'm looking down, but I did write some things down that I didn't want to forget. So I'm going to start with Pink Lavender and Espresso. This is Bath & Body Works, as I'm sure you can tell. And the notes on this are rich pink lavender, caramel espresso beans, and smooth vanilla. I gotta be honest, I mean, I know the lighting's bad, but I just love the pink color of this packaging. Not that I buy things for packaging. I wouldn't say I enjoy the scent, but I was interested in the scent when I smelled it in the store. But I think the packaging kind of sold it. It's in that like white bar core, but it is kind of scratched already. I don't know if you can tell that like on the top. Okay, first of all, that looks terrible. With the lid on, it doesn't look so bad, except for it is kind of scratched at the top. Like, this looks so cute. Okay, rich pink lavender, caramel espresso beans, smooth vanilla. Let me read my notes. I don't like start just going all over the place. I wrote down to start with, I felt like the strength and throw was like a medium. It does have like those thicker wicks, as you can see here. But yeah, I wrote down the throw was like a medium. I was actually surprised in my open concept how strong and how far I could actually kind of smell it. I will say though, I did this on a morning because I was kind of like, okay, espresso, like sometimes I like to do my bakery coffee in the morning. To me, I definitely think this is a very like cozy scent. I don't really get a lot of coffee, if any coffee at all. Like maybe a hint if I think about it. But honestly, when it was going like in the air, I wouldn't really say I got any coffee. I definitely get a lot of the lavender and the vanilla. It kind of reminds me of like lavender marshmallow, but not as intense of lavender. So which is kind of funny because you think it would maybe be a little bit more like sharp if it has coffee in it. But I would say it's like more on the sweeter, cozier side. It's not like certain lavender you smell and you're like, oh, that's almost like not astringent, but like a little bit sharp. It's definitely not that. It's a very nice lavender. I wouldn't say if you're like, you don't like lavender, maybe run out and get this because you definitely can smell the lavender, to me at least. I definitely feel like the vibe of this is like, if you're gonna say it's a coffee, it's like the coffee, maybe like the decaf coffee you have at like the end of the day to like wind down. It's not like a real coffee. That's kind of my thought to this. I definitely think this is going to be really nice, kind of like winding down, evening time, bedroom. That's more so my thought with this now that I've actually burned it. In the beginning, I was like, oh, like maybe I could do it in the mornings. It's just too cozy and calm for me for a morning. I hope that makes sense. I wrote down, because I do want to address these things, would I recommend it? I would recommend it if you're into these types of scents. If you're specifically looking for coffee, I would not recommend it. I would try to smell it in store if possible. That's where I got it. That one's kind of a risky buy online, I personally think. And then I also wrote down repurchase. I wanted to touch on those two things. I clearly have a lot left, so I personally am saying no. I'm not like running out to the store to get backups. I think that one will do me plenty good. Okay, next we have Golden Honeycomb, also from Bath & Body Works. This I wrote down, this one had those like thinner wicks, but obviously mushroom, clearly. This one I wrote down the strength and throw was low medium. And why I wrote that is I feel like the throw was probably a medium, but the strength was low. I could tell it was in the area, but it was kind of hard to pick up. I could smell it, but it was just like I had to think about it a little bit. I was just like, what is that smell? Like you could tell something was in the air. So to me, I put low for the strength. Obviously, sometimes, maybe this isn't obvious. I say obviously way too much about things that aren't obvious to other people besides myself. Sometimes I feel like as I burn further into the candle, things can get stronger. Sometimes I don't know if there's just like a weird layer on the top and things like, I feel like especially with my Homer's candles, sometimes I need to get at least 2 birds in to like really get the strength and throw. So I don't know, but I kind of feel like this is maybe just a little bit lighter based on the nature of the scent. Oh, did I even read you the notes? Savory honey, cozy vanilla, and warm butterscotch. So like seeing this and just not knowing what the scent was, I did not assume this was a bakery. Then when I read the notes, I was like, oh my gosh, like a bakery in the spring, like we love it. My thoughts on the scent, I thought initially on cold it was going to be like a straight up bakery. Even in the store, I have it in multiple wallflowers, all the things, savory honey, cozy vanilla, warm butterscotch. I was like, bakery, 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 smelling it on cold, total bakery. But smelling it now, and after burning it, it's almost like a floral came out a little bit. And I don't know if that's the right descriptor because I don't feel like I get a specific floral. But there's something else happening in here that's not just bakery. And based on what the notes are, I can't pick out, like the only thing that stands out to me is maybe the honey, but I don't feel like the honey would lean floral, and I certainly don't feel like the butterscotch would be leaning floral. So I feel like something else is going on in here. So to me, I wrote down on my notes, I thought it was going to be a straight bakery, but something almost floral came out. Definitely agree with that. And then I wrote down it's very appropriate for springtime. For me, this type of bakery with that whatever's happening, I like it, but it's definitely for right now. This isn't something where I would be like, oh, I'll do this in the fall. There's just a lightness about it, like an airiness, if you will. Like it kind of reminds me of baking, but it's pre-spring vibes. So I originally would have probably put this with my bakery candles, but this, for me, now that I've actually burned it, is going to go with the spring. So that's actually a benefit and why I kind of wanted to start to do this, because I feel like I was kind of just like categorizing my candles based on cold without actually burning them. And now I feel totally different about this one. So would I recommend that one? I definitely would recommend it. I also wrote down maybe try in a wallflower if you're like a little bit eerie on the scent. Maybe don't commit to the full candle, maybe get it in like something else first. Obviously smell it in the store if you can. I personally feel like this one smells different after now that I've burned it than I originally thought it did. Because I originally thought it was just straight up bakery. And then I wrote down what I repurchased and I put likely no. I mean, I have this. I don't know that I need to run out and go get more. Certain candles I definitely am like, ooh, I need at least 2. But I'm not like a crazy candle person necessarily. I like them, but I do work outside the house, so I don't have a ton of time to like burn and stuff. So I try to be good. I try. So that is what I have going for right now. Like I said, I have a list of things to share. So you will see more of these coming. Hopefully you guys like these. Once again, these are just like after burning thoughts. These are not empties reviews. I will continue to update through my like what I've been warming videos that I post here kind of weekly or a couple times a month on my channel. And then I do an empties at the end of the month, and those will be like true empties, what I actually think at the end of items life. So that's what I have today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.